Hello, hi, how are you today? I want to talk to you about these alignments that are in these energies, particularly for December, and how I am experiencing Mercury opposite. Okay, it's like Mercury retrograde, and you have those things that are like glitches with people where they don't understand you or whatever. I've had some pretty cool things happen, and I've noticed this happens with people who do the light body work. If you've been doing your work all along, you're going to find some good stuff in this retrograde energy. If you're not doing it, you're going to find that you're like getting pushed back to really address mainly your light body. So, some of the things that I experienced were I went to Jiffy Lube to, not check my oil, but I had like a low tire and I'd been driving the highway. I wanted to check it. And somehow they had a miscommunication. And so they thought it was oil change and then they caught it. So the guy came to me and he was like, Miss, I'm so sorry that, we did check your tires. We filled it. We checked things. We did not top your oil. We did a full oil change, but we're not going to charge you because it's our mistake. And I was like, I literally blinked because I was not expecting that. I wasn't due for it. And they did it. And they were very gracious about it. So I gave them a tip and went on my way. And then another day, I had like this really weird thing happening where this guy was like road raging and trying to cut me off. And, he was in some kind of a company car. So I was like, well, he's on the clock. Maybe I'm on a different schedule. I'll let it go. And I decided to treat myself to an ice cream. And when I got to the ice cream place, you'd have to know this place. It's on like the northwest side of Chicago. The owner's wife used to be a set designer, so she decorates it. It's called the Chocolate Shop. And they have really good ice cream. They have a ton of flavors. But when you go in there, it's sort of surreal. So she had decorated it with like cotton and it had puffy clouds, literally made me feel like I was entering another dimension. And then the young lady behind the counter, she didn't say a word to me. She handed me a little spoon of ice cream. She wound up giving me 10 spoons of ice cream without us saying a word. And I said, you're kind of defeating the purpose of why I came in here. And then I finally said, well, I'll have, the pralines and cream or something like that. And, she just got it, gave her a nice tip. Hopefully that made her day. But it had this like weird, surreal, like I've entered a new level kind of feeling. And there have been some other cool things that have happened, like with friends. And I know a lot of people lose friends on this journey. Please rest assured that nothing's ever really lost. Just because your vibration is a little higher and maybe, they're not at your same vibration or frequency, they will catch up because we value friendships. Some of you have friendships formed at the feet of God. So I've had some cool things in that department as well. So I want to talk to you about the new level because a lot of people are understanding and feeling this sense of like, woohoo, like 2025 and beyond, this is it. Things are going to be popping. Yes, some big things are going to be happening, and even bigger, more subtle things happen when you do the light body work. If you don't know what I'm talking about, get my daily routine on my website so that you can really get in the flow. So, a couple of questions for you because in this energy, especially as we head into 2025, these are for alignments for your life and your love life and romance. Okay. You don't believe in romance? Why not? You've never felt like being romantic? You never have? Yes, you have. It's there in your past life. It's in you. So, there. It's the reason that music and poetry and art exist, is because someone was feeling it. They were feeling the love. So, but where does it hurt? What do you need? Okay. Emotional needs come into play. tangible needs like physical stuff you may need, things that you need for what's coming up. You may be telling yourself stuff like, oh my God, I need to get off of this or that, or I need to find the way to diminish my medicine. I help people with that too. So you have to make this personal. I'm also going to pose a question. Someone loves you. Are you ignoring them? Because if you're letting the world distract you, if you're paying more attention to politics or what's happening in that any area that is not your neck of the woods and not your community, are you getting distracted? Are you easily distracted? Do you spend hours death scrolling? Do you like try to escape through things or stuff or substances or visuals? Are you trapped in something? That amounts to ignoring the person that loves you and tries to help you. And who is that? Well, it's your soul. It's your 5D self. So it's your higher self. If you don't know how to do a higher self meditation, come join us because we do that on the regular. So what is this new level? The new level is supported by 5D, not ground into the ground of 3D Earth. Okay, there's a difference. This is how you move into the heart. This is how you let the heart steer you, how you let the heart support you. New level. First of all, even though you may have a job, you start feeling the initial things of like something not just a job, okay? Or your job evolves into something that's not just a job. You could get a new position or you're actually creating something. I feel like on jobs, I've actually created some of the jobs and then we kind of modeled it. And then the pain in the butt part was having to write down things like the job description and create a manual. And I was just like, oh my God, can't someone else do that? And since then, I've become an author of 8 books. So go figure, I guess everything's practice from your term papers to your essays in school to the poetry you'll write. So, not just a job, a calling. And that may seem very abstract for people, and they're like, how do I do that? Well, it gears up in you, it wells up inside, and it like comes to you, and you have to work it, okay? Everything evolves. Jobs evolve, the earth evolves, mammals evolve. Everything is an evolutionary process, no matter how small, you know? So what else? You're able to do more with less. Let me see if I can get a little bit of shine there. Able to do more with less. What does that mean? Well, let's take your metabolism. Your metabolism, when you're supported from another level, should operate with more functionality, better assimilation, better evacuation of waste. Your lymph system should work better. And part of that is also your immune system. Can you burn off things? Now, we have that sometimes in my family, and I've often wondered at it, where you feel like you're sick for 24 hours, but you just burned off something and you're not sick in bed for 2 weeks. That's a cool thing. Now, sometimes that's the passive alignment to get you through something so that you're not really hindered, limited. But then when you actively do it, that becomes your normal. We're making a new normal here. We're making alignments for new normals because we're making this personal. Very little conflict. How's that? First of all, you'll turn your back on the world. Like you don't care about, it's not that you don't care about damage. It's more like you'll recognize it for the repeat of history that it is. And in some areas of the world, that's been very trapped and almost ground down into the earth. The damage is there. The blood is on the earth. And yet, are you supposed to continue to have conflict over it? Especially if you're in a country where Maybe people have mingled, assimilated, traded, married each other, and very little conflict. Okay, arguments, disagreements, yes. Armed conflict, violence, domestic violence. What should be your new normal? Do you really want to have conflict? Now, mind you, there are those people, and they are the people that, kid you not, it's like it's their gasoline. They gotta fight with you. They're a rageaholic. I've known people where they don't even drink. I One of my brother's friends, the uncle was such a rageaholic. I mean, it'd be a holiday, he'd put his fist through the wall, that kind of thing, for no apparent reason. But he allowed himself to be triggered. And this is the thing, your soul and your 5D self is disallowing some of these like hair trigger reactions, but only when you work the light body. Your soul and your 5D self may avert some things where you're deflecting. I encourage people, really see how it works in your life by letting us help you open your light body. Because you have more than 7 chakras, you got to get ready. No karmic residue. What would that be like to not have to repeat karma? Believe me, it happens. And it's a choice. And repeating karma is a lot harder than not repeating karma. So choose your hard, which is harder, unless you engage. So if you're engaging in it, if you find yourself like, but I just want to prove my point, but I just want to sue those people, you better mind your own store. And remember, if you're focusing on that kind of revenge and retaliation, unless it's absolutely necessary and you should ask your soul, you're ignoring whoever loves you. Your soul loves you, your 5D self loves you, is you, and you really need to really see about that matter. But that's the only way they're going to learn. And that's the only way we've ever repeated history and punished each other and hurt each other and, like, sticks, rocks, guns, like, there it goes. We're often running to the races. Is there an alternative? Because yes, at the new level, and I've helped several people with this, and some of those people averted it. They wound up with a dismissal of what might be a misdemeanor. They have wound up with like maybe neutral, like there was a decision not found for either side when it got to court, but it wasn't against them either. They weren't hit with fines and a penalty and court fees and everything else. And this is one of the hardest things for people to do is please let go of the karma. Stop being karmic yourself. Please stop. Stop. Shh, stop. Let's breathe. Learn the breath work that's going to open your light body where the other solutions can come through and work in your life. Mental and physical improvements. That means physical health, improved mental health, improved mental emotional health. Because when you're not doing karmic things or trying to repeat karma or like keep propping it up and keeping it in place instead of letting it collapse and being done with it, even if other people pick it up, then you're ignoring the love that's trying to come for you. Someone loves you. Are you able to let it penetrate through? It does it a lot more when it's not a crisis. I mean, believe me, it can come in through a crisis. We all know those people that they had a health crisis, or I'll never forget on Grey's Anatomy, the one character fell in love with the dying man, and she was a doctor and he was a dying man. And I'm thinking, this is so karmic. This is so deep root chakra, like having an unavailable person. Can you deny that they love? Well, it was written for television, right? But I'm like, this just exemplifies some of the things that should improve. Meeting someone who's healthy, who can match you, who's vibrationally ready, who is your match, who is on the frequency. You're on the same wavelength. You're cut out of the same piece of paper. Are you getting the picture? Don't ignore them. Don't let things distract you. And mental and physical improvements. This means physical health. This means repairing your injuries. I'll give you an example of one I have recently. I broke a bone here during the pandemic, and we were painting and something fell, and it was like a big bookcase, and I managed to catch it, but I broke the bone right at the heel of this finger. Now this is I was so upset. First time I ever broke a bone in my life. I have bones that are almost like iron. I've been hit so hard. I've been surprised, and I played sports, and then this happens. I didn't even know it. So for 3 days, I'm like, I better go get this checked because it was the pandemic. I hesitated to go to get an x-ray at the emergency room. And I did. And the guy was like, yeah, it's broken. So this was a few years ago. Now, because of symmetrical healing, even though nothing happened to this hand, I'm having pains because the nerves are aligning. This kind of symmetrical healing is a part of your physical health and improvement. It's each side. It's not just feminine side or masculine side. It's not just for that person that you're zoned on. It's not, it's for you. It's for you. It's for you. So to be real about this, that happens. Maybe it hasn't happened, but I'll say not yet. Is it hard? It was amazing because it did heal, and now they're going to match, right? Because when I hold that person, I need all of my strength, all of my capacity, all of my health. So, new collaborations, okay? You will get rid of some people. Some people will leave your orbit. Some new people will come in. And you may not know how that's going to look or how that's going to be. I've had that happen with me where out of the least likely place, sometimes someone shows up. And some of those people, they're also those angels here on earth. And you've heard quotes about that, like angels are among us. Like, I fully consider that the young man over at the oil change place, he was like my angel that day. I was like, oh my God. I mean, it was not a weird exchange. It was like, wow, the universe is taking care of me for some reason, even though that was a mistake. I honored him, and somehow it just happened, right? They didn't try to be sneaky with me because that would have been karmic, right? Your soul demands that other people not behave karmically with you, okay? They will make them be on their best behavior sometimes. Now, some of the other things that happen is what I'll call money smooth. Money smooth. What's money smooth? Things start to smooth out with your money stuff. That means you could get a discount, a rebate. Some people have been receiving some money from a class action suit that they may or may not have, really actively been the person pursuing that, but something shows up. It could be an inheritance that comes that you don't expect. It could be something that you give that helps other people, because money works both ways. Money is a modicum of exchange to show our love, to show our caring, to show our value for things. Just because other people corrupt that in their minds of like, hey, how am I going to manipulate this? Your money should get a lot smoother. So, if this is of interest to you, if you want to know how to open up your spirit, your light body, your 5D connections, because those 5D connections come down and support you at a new level, and it is gradual. Okay, you got to be able to handle it. You got to be able to not be ignoring some of this stuff. You cannot ignore your ascension. It will keep coming and happening and coming and happening and pushing you and closing the old doors behind you. It's a thing. It is on. So your light body has so many bells and whistles that I think we've only just begun. But the key is, don't ignore. Please help get it open. Please help everyone by helping yourself, because when you turn that mirror on you, then you're doing a good thing for other people in your vicinity. My webinar starts December 7th. That's Sunday, each Sunday, 3 in a row at 9 a.m. Central on Zoom. I record. This week, we're going to go over the spirit body, and we're going to talk a little bit more about real ways that this plays out for you. This spirit is also for getting rid of spiritual dis-ease, which can include addictions, which can include parts of your menstrual cycle or your other hormonal cycles, like your testosterone, believe it or not. Your spirit is replacing the ego. And that's when it gets weird for people, because it's also an expansion, and it's a retraction of sort of this smaller ego mind. It's part of your spiritual maturity and growth. So that's where we're going to start. We have a lively discussion of people that are just like you. They're on the journey, they're in their ascension, and I do it live. Okay. I know that there's people where they try to be inaccessible. I'm very accessible. Okay. And we talk about our dreams. I record so that if you miss or you have to leave, you can get the recording. I give you instructions, and the whole point is for you to be carried through to your next level, okay, with you participating in the work. So I hope you have a good day. I hope to see you there. Please let me know, or check out my website at twinflamereconnection.com. I'm Patricia McNeely, located in Chicago, and have a good one. Bye.